Incoming transmission.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the 10th of November, and I've got a little Amstrad classic for you. Have a look at this. Yes, it's Amsoft's Oh Mummy. And what a fun little game this is. Bundled with the Amstrad, actually, along with sort of Roland on the Ropes, I think was another one. It is quite a good little game. Let's have a look at this. So we've got the speed of the game here. 1 is fastest. Oddly, you would have thought 5 would have been. Difficulty level, we'll go with 5 again. Background music, yes, we'll go with that. And sound effects, we'll go with it as well. Okay, so let's get stuck in. So we want to play. Right, that is me running down the screen right now. Okay, so the basic premise is that you are a treasure hunter and you've got to uncover the treasures of the tomb without getting caught by the mummies. Quite simple concept of a game, really. Reminds me of those square games, you know, we had to make squares on the screen and they'd fill in the blanks. It's a bit like that sort of thing, I think. But you can see here I've unlocked the mummy's tomb, I guess, and a couple of treasure chests already. I think you need to find a key, a scroll, and I think the mummy's chest, the one down the bottom left hand corner. I think that's what you need to escape the tomb, and it doesn't really make it clear where you've got to go once you've done it, but it's fairly straightforward. I mean, yeah. Those are the mummies roaming around up there, the yellow guys on the screen. I quite like the main sprite. I think he's quite fun. I like the colour scheme on him, the nice sort of blue and yellow. It's kind of very almost Mario-esque, isn't it? But oh, I like that. There's the key. I'm going to unlock all of these squares and see how we get on. Right, so the mummies aren't exactly very intelligent, but it does increase in difficulty as you go along. You can see now we've got 3 mummies on the screen. We started with 1 in the last level, and now we've got 3 starting this one off. Now, you probably noticed on the last level that sometimes mummies will emerge from the squares that you uncover. This adds to the amount of mummies that you get chasing you around the maze, although they don't really chase you. It's not like it hasn't got like the Pac-Man AI where the ghosts will make a conscious effort to actually trace your steps. These guys just meander around and they're not really a threat. But when you get lots of them, that's when the game actually ramps up the difficulty a bit. So we're going to go through this as much as we can. There's really not much else to this game, but we'll go through it. Now, I've got the music on, and although I do kind of take the music down a notch so you can hear me over the game noises, I don't recommend putting the music on while you're playing this because it will drive you absolutely crackers. And I do mean literally, it'll start to grind your gears after a few run-throughs. But the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da constantly really does kind of wind you up. The game sounds are quite nice, so I don't mind having them on, but you know, they're very basic as well. But yeah, don't have the music on because it will absolutely grate those. Your nerves will be shredded by the end of playing this game. But I digress. It doesn't take much away from the actual game. It's very simple. I mean, this game is probably more suited to a younger player, but it does prove a challenge, I guess. We're going to go through and see how far through we can actually get with this before... There we go, I've lost a life there. So, but that was my stupidity. That I just ran straight into one of the mummies. Not great. I like the fact that those are actually footprints. I think that's quite a nice little feature. I mean, it's not going to win any awards for brilliance or anything, but I quite like the fact that those are little footsteps. That is quite nice. So yeah, we go around and we are basically tomb raiding. Hear that? Lara Croft. Tomb raiding before any of those games are ever conceived. But it's quite nice. It's an Amsoft game. I mean, it was one of those freebies that they threw in. I think Harrier Attack was one of the other games actually from Amsoft. I think it was another one of the games you got with the actual Amstrad. And this game actually got bundled with the Spectrum 128+2 when Amstrad took over the... that's odd, I didn't lose a life then. When Amstrad took over from Sinclair. This was bundled in with that as well, along with Treasure Island and another couple of games as well. Punchy, I think, was another one. But this game was quite good fun back then. It was quite nice just having a couple of games that you could play straight out of the box without having to worry about going out and buying extras. It just came with it, which was, back then that was really generous. I guess these days it still is. I mean, back then you had lots of game bundles. The Amiga had game packs and cartoon packs and all that stuff. So why not the Spectrum and Amstrad? Why shouldn't they have? Even though they were out first, they kind of set the bar, I think. But now you can see there's lots of mummies on the screen, so I've got to be a bit careful where I go. I love the fact they've got their arms outstretched in complete Hammer horror fashion. I think that's quite fun. And you can see they're actually a bit speedy now. Now, you'll probably notice that they don't exactly go along the sort of middle routes very often. They normally stick to sort of the outside routes, so they'll just go around the border. It's not very often that they will actually make the effort to come across the screen. Like I said, the chase mechanic isn't exactly brilliant, but it's mainly the fact there's so many of them and the speed. I mean, they are faster now than when we first started, so that's obviously got to be a plus for the challenge. Though I haven't really, it hasn't really made me break a sweat at all. It's just been one of those games where it's just been kind of nice to kick back and play and have a bit of a change. But I thought instead of bringing you one of these big budget titles, I thought I would actually show you what the Amstrad came with, which I think is quite a nice idea. I don't do Amstrad enough, I really should, because that was a nice system, as well as the Spectrum. And the C64, I need to start doing a bit more on that as well. I think I've got one review on there, or two, but I'll try and get some more C64 games out onto the review so that you guys can have a look at those as well. If there's any requests that you've got, by the way, please let me know in the comments, because I'd love to be able to credit you guys and say, ooh, this was brought to you this week by, and I'll give you a name drop. I think that'd be quite nice. But yeah, if there's any games you actually want to see, if I can get hold of them or I've already got them, then by all means I will review them for you. Anyway, that's been Oh Mummy, and it looks like I've just finished the game. So what better place to stop? Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.